Welcome back, and joining us on the show now is Sachin Jain, he's MD at World Gold Council. Sachin, hi, thank you so much for joining us on a very special day for us. And what an year this has been as well. We're looking at all-time highs in case of gold and perhaps the best yearly performance since 1979 with 60% of gains that we've seen in gold. How would you look back at 2025 and analyze on how have Indians bought gold this year?
Manisha, first and foremost, my heartiest congratulations. And I think you guys do a phenomenal job in bringing not just transparency, but information and legible and confident information that we can bank on. So congratulations to you for the great work that you guys do. With that, as you rightly said, 2025 has been phenomenal. We've seen, I don't have to repeat, an all-time high, over 45 all-time peaks this year. The returns have been phenomenal. And we believe that as we get into 2026, the fundamentals on which gold price has been based on are still going strong, are going to be in favor of gold, and that's how we see. And the changes that we witnessed is that financial consumer in general, particularly when I look at India, is getting more sophisticated. There's more conversation and not just conversation, but activity around diversification of portfolios, more transparency. If you look at the jewelry side, where of course we witnessed some drop in volume, but of course unprecedented up in the value that jewelers are dealing with. I think they're getting ready for the next phase of gold, which is going to be 26 to 27.
Sachin, would you also say that the financialization of gold that we have been talking about all these years has started to make very, very strong inroads in mainstream investment when it comes to this year?
Absolutely. I mean, just if you look at this year, Manisha, the investment demand is going to cross $6 trillion. I mean, $6 trillion in INR terms means 18,70,000 crore worth of gold that got traded on a daily basis. Now, if you look at it, this makes gold as the most liquid asset on planet Earth. And it is, as you rightly said, the impetus on gold as an important asset class with every financial asset class investor is more and at the highest ever.
The other thing I want to talk to you about is jewelry numbers, really, Sachin, because $90 billion worth of a jewelry market is what we are looking at in India in 2025, with various reports suggesting that it could head to $150 billion by the time we are in 2033. Would you say it is about corporatization of jewelry, organization as well, with various companies now looking at this with a different view, really, and the kind of buying that we've seen within India, whether it has been about with the way of wealth creation or millennials as well buying it?
I think, Manisha, a few things are happening in the jewelry space. First and foremost, we are getting more transparent. With the event of BIS and their activation around a unique HUID on every jewelry piece, takes up the confidence on the jewelry at a different level. That's number one. Number two is the interest in gold and the ownership of gold is high. Number three is, the way the brass tacks of India, the sheer disposable wealth in the hands of Indians is going year by year. And if you look at a 5 to 10 year perspective, we believe it's going to double. Now, with all of those elements, historically, we've seen every time an Indian consumer's wealth goes up by 1%, the interest to consume gold or consumption of gold goes up by 1%. And I think with those perspectives in mind, with one, what's happening at gold as an asset class, and secondly, with increased wealth creation and increased wealth in the hands of consumers, I think the next few years on gold will be very strong. I think as an industry, we need to do a much better job to relate better to younger consumers and millennials. And work is happening, but I think it's an ongoing pursuit of being the most aspirational sort of aspirational asset class for the younger millennial who wants to dress up.
Sachin, there has been said, and yes, with the kind of returns gold has given, it has clearly been mainstream. Almost everybody that we've had on the channel has spoken about gold in some sense or the other, and obviously giving higher highs expectations for the next year as well. But talk to us about the various age groups that are buying gold. One, we do understand the ETF buying is picked up, fund on funds as well. Via mutual funds, we've seen gold buying happen. And it was said at some point in time that it is only the older generation invests in gold and not the younger one. Have you seen that change as well?
Actually, Manisha, we've seen the folios in which consumers are buying gold ETFs and others. That's getting younger, and that's getting very interesting because I think it'll reflect on how we'll market our products and bring them to our mainstream. ETF, if you look at it, the starting of the year, our AUM was about 56, 57 tons. We've crossed 86 tons last month on the gold ETF bit. And I really believe that it's still at the cusp of a phenomenal growth because ETF as a product is still not completely, has a popularity or the awareness on a mainstream India. And I think that will happen. That is what we'll witness in 26 and 27. What will work with the millennials is ease. What will work with the millennials is their ease to buy, hold assets. And I think that change of mentality in terms of holding assets digitally is going to be the driver. We've had over 9 million additional folios that have got added up on gold ETFs this year, which is phenomenal in terms of number of consumers who've come across. And as you said, historically we were consumed by large or sort of generally by old age consumers or perhaps a certain above a certain age. But I think in the current perspective, the young consumers are driving the growth.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Sachin and Manisha, thank you so much for joining us today with that discussion and the outlook on what's happening with the gold market and prices as well. With that, we'll slip into another break. Rajiv Bajaj, the MD at Bajaj Auto, will join in on the other side of the short break.
"26 years of CNBC TV18